income and other criteria. So we already found that people not only think of a better income, but also they have goals such as security for themselves, respect for others, equal treatment, and freedom. So by looking at this, we have learned that people, besides having better income, they also want security, they also want respect for others, and they also want equal treatment and freedom. So as in the case of individual, we have other things also in terms of development. In the similar way, for a nation also or a region also, we have to think of other equally important attributes besides income. So what are these attributes? Just we will see now here. Now, before going to see about these attributes, let us check the previous things what we have learned here from the table 1.3. Okay, so from the table 1.3, we have learned that in the comparison of Haryana, Kerala, and Bihar states as per their per capita income, the average income of a person in Haryana was 2,64,729 per year, then followed by Kerala 2,34,405 and Bihar as 47,498. So, if per capita income were to be used as the measure of development, here Haryana was better, followed by Kerala and followed by Bihar. Then, now let us look at some other important aspects. So, what are these other aspects? Let us see now in this table. One is infant mortality rate, one is literacy rate, and one is net attendance ratio. So, first of all, let us know what is infant mortality rate. Infant mortality rate is nothing but it indicates the number of children that die before the age of 1 year as a proportion of 1,000 children born in a particular year. That means that every year, if 1,000 children are born, so the number of children that die before the age of 1 year, that is called infant mortality rate. So if the rate is less, then it is a good thing. If the rate number of children are dying more, then it is not a good indicator. So in terms of that infant mortality rate, let us see Haryana 28 children are dying before the age of 1, okay, for 1,000 children, followed by Kerala only 6 and followed by Bihar 27. That means that Kerala is better when compared with Haryana and Bihar. Okay, then next, we will see about literacy rate. What is literacy rate? Literacy rate is nothing but measures the proportion of literate persons in the 7 and above age of that regions. 2017 and 18, the literacy rate in Haryana it was 82 percentage, Kerala 94 percentage, Bihar 62 percent. So here also Kerala is better 94 percentage and Haryana 82 and Bihar 62. Then finally last one is net attendance ratio of the children between the age 15 to 17 going to school for 100 persons. Here Haryana, the number of children out of 100 going to school were 73, but in Kerala it is 94 and Bihar it is 69. So again here Kerala is better. Okay, so now in terms of these three aspects, if you see, Kerala is far better than others. Then Haryana followed in the second part and then Bihar. Then what does this table show to us? This table shows to us about 7 children died before completing 1 year of age out of 1,000. Okay, so what that means Kerala is better, followed by Haryana, then followed by Bihar. Okay, so the infant mortality rate indicates like this. Now, how is that the average person in Haryana has more income than Kerala but lags behind in very crucial areas? Haryana, even though the income per capita income of the persons in Haryana is most better, but they are lagging behind in crucial areas when compared with Kerala. Infant mortality rate Kerala is better than Haryana. So the reason is that money in your pocket cannot buy you all the goods and services that you may need to live well. A person who wants to live well, okay, so money is not the only criteria. So income by itself is not completely adequate indicator of showing that whether a person or people are developed or better or not. For example, your money cannot buy you pollution free environment. Your money cannot protect you from infectious diseases. Okay, so you have to take into consideration other things also. And what are these other things? These other things are called also as, okay, freedom, equality, okay, then equal treatment from others, respect from others. All these things should be taken into consideration. Now, actually, for many of the important things in the life, the best way to get all these things, or the cheapest way to get all these things, is collectively. What are all these things? That is, these things are called as public facilities. What are public facilities? Education, transport, and health services. They are collectively, if they are taken by the people, they will be very cheap, and if collectively they are taken, they will be better. So just think, will it be cheaper to have collective security for one individual house or all the people of that community? So it will be better to have security for all the total community. Now, one more thing you have to take into consideration, that only one person is interested to go to school in a village, then it is highly impossible for establishing a school for that one person in that village. If all the people of the village are interested to send their children to the school, then it will be highly possible for the government to establish schools for the children. And in many areas, children, particularly girls, are not able to go to high school because the government society has not provided adequate facilities in some areas. If you take examples of some areas where education or literacy rate or net attendance rate of the children going to school, among those, that is males and females, males are having better numbers rather than females. So the particularly number of girls who are going to high school are very less in some areas. Why? Because that region's governments are not able to provide better public facilities to the people. So now you see here, Kerala has low infant mortality rate because it has adequate provisions of basic health and education facilities. If you see here, Kerala is having better education facilities and health facilities. That's why infant mortality rate is far better when compared to Haryana and Bihar. In some areas, public distribution system, that is ration shops, if they are working well, no, the people's standard of health is also very better in those areas. Say example, in those regions where public distribution system functions well, health and nutritional status of the people of such states is certainly like to be better. So here what we have to understand is that governments have to provide public facilities to the people, okay, so that people can maintain themselves in a better way in terms of education, in terms of transport, and in terms of health. Now, how could you say that whether people are healthy or people are highly nutritious? Okay, so the best way to calculate it is BMI, body mass index. One way to find out all if we are properly nourished is to calculate what nutritionists they say about called body mass index. Now, to calculate this body mass index, take the weight of a person in kilograms, then take the height of that person on a scale and measuring accurately with the head straight, and convert the height recorded into centimeters into meters, and divide the weight in kilograms by the square of the height. Then you are going to get BMI, body mass index. If the body mass index is in between 18.5 to 21-22, then it is considered as a good health, or the person is considered as having good body mass index. If it is below 18 or above 25-27, okay, it is obese or overweight, right here. Then next thing is here, you are able to understand that a report will be given by UNDP, United Nations Development Program. Okay, so this report is called as Human Development Report. Okay, every year UNDP, United Nations Development Program, gives a report called as Human Development Report, which will be published by UNDP, which compares the countries based on education levels, okay, and health status of the people and per capita income of the people. So based on that only the countries will be given ranks. Okay, so this report has given by UNDP about India and its neighboring countries in the year 2023-24. Now just let us see the report. So in this, you are able to find out India and its neighboring countries data. What does this data tells us about? Gross national income, life expectancy at birth, mean years of schooling, and HDI rank, Human Development Index rank in the world. So here Sri Lanka, India, Myanmar, Pakistan, Nepal, and Bangladesh are the countries which are the neighboring countries of India. So HDI stands for Human Development Index. HDI rank in the above table are out of 193. Okay, so this record is about 2022. Then life expectancy at the birth denotes, as the name suggests, average expected length of life of a person at the time of birth. Then per capita income is calculated in dollars for all countries so that it can be compared. It is also done in a way so that every dollar would buy the same amount of goods and services in any country. So these three indicators are given here. So based on this UNDP report, the gross national income, per capita income of Sri Lanka is better when compared with India. Okay. Then Bangladesh, even it is very near to us, 6,511. Then Myanmar very least, Pakistan very least, and Nepal very least. So in this, a small country like Sri Lanka is much ahead of India. You see here, Sri Lanka, a small country than India, is much ahead of India. When compared, India is a very big country like ours. Such a low rank in the world. Sri Lanka is having 78th rank and India is having 134th rank. And you see Bangladesh is having 129th rank. So much better than India. Now you also see the table shows that through Nepal and Bangladesh have low per capita income than India, but their life expectancy rate is very better than India. You see Myanmar 67.3 and Nepal 70.5 and 73.7. So they are much better than India. Okay, are you able to understand here? Now, isn't it surprising that a small country in our neighborhood, Sri Lanka, is much ahead of India in respect of a big country like ours? Okay. Okay, isn't it surprising that a small country in our neighborhood like Sri Lanka is much better than India like a big country? It also shows that Nepal and Bangladesh, even though low per capita income, they are very better than India in life expectancy rates. So many improvements have been suggested in calculating Human Development Index, and many new components have been added to this Human Development Report. So do you think there are certain other aspects that should be considered in measuring Human Development Report? Yes, there are many other things which has to be taken into consideration. Right? Okay, so the next topic from this lesson is sustainability of development. What does sustainability of development mean? Here, we have been discussing the topic called as development from the beginning of the lesson. Development doesn't mean that utilizing all the resources to achieve development belonging to a country and making them exhaust, and there will be no resources for the future generations. So, what actually the meaning of sustainability of development means? We have to utilize the resources in a proper way for achieving development and make these resources available for the future generations. Why? Because they have to live, they have to sustain. Okay, so this is obviously desirable that we have to utilize the resources, but we have to see that they should remain for our future generations. Okay, so what actually is happening nowadays? Every country is just concentrating on development. So, the level of development which is going on in certain countries to maintain future generations, they are overutilizing the resources, and this is obviously desirable. Yes, we have to attain development, but however, since the second half of the 20th century, number of scientists have been warning that present type of or the levels of developments are not sustainable. The development which is nowadays going on, that is after the scientist warning in the 20th century, what they are saying is the present way of development which is going on is not sustainable, that is not making the resources to be present for the future generations. They are getting exhausted. So ground level is the best example for that, which is a renewable resource. Even though it is a renewable resource, it is replenished by nature, okay, as in the case of crops and plants. But if it is overused, then it is also going to exhaust one day. Okay, so we have to think it very seriously. Now see, the best example for this is a groundwater level. Groundwater level in India, that is, recent evidences have shown that groundwater level in India is a very serious threat. Why? Because in many parts of the country, nearly 300 districts, they have reported that water level has declined up to 4 meters. So the groundwater level is declined up to 4 meters level in many of the districts, that is 300 districts of the country, and it has been continuing for the last 20 years. And what they are saying, if it continues for another 25 years like this, then 60% of the country's groundwater level will go on beyond 4 meters level. So it will be a serious threat to us. Groundwater overusage is particularly found in the prosperous regions like West Punjab, Western Uttar Pradesh, okay na? So highly where agriculture is followed, in some regions of coastal regions of southern Indian states. Okay, so this is a very serious threat to us. Now, non-renewable resources are those which will get exhausted after a few years of use. But even though as the resources are getting exhausted, we have to find out for new stocks. Okay, some stocks are very fixed stocks, they are going to get exhausted one day, but we have to find for alternative stocks. Okay, we do discover new resources that we did not know of earlier. But even though these new resources, if we find out, its overusage also may make it to get exhausted. Consequences of environmental degradation do not respect any national or state boundaries. It is not confined to one country or the other. Environmental degradation is going to impact the total world. Okay, if this issue is no longer a region wise or a specific nation wise, our future is linked together. Sustainability of development, that is why, is comparatively a new area of knowledge in which scientists, economists, and philosophers and social scientists are working together to solve this issue. So, in general, the question of development or progress is perennial. It goes on. Progress is perennial. That is, development or progress is perennial for each and every country. That goes on. It never stops. At all times, as a member of the society, as an individual, we need to ask where we want to go. See here, we have come to the End of the lesson with the same question. In the beginning of the lesson, we have asked one question, what we want to do and how we want to live. And here, where we want to go. If there are no resources available for the future generations, then where we are going? What we wish to become, no resources, what you are interested to become, then whatever our goals are. So if there are no resources for the future generations, then there will be no goals. So finally the debate continues on the development.